We ready? Call the County Town Council meeting August 5th, 2026. Order, please. Can we all rise, please, to pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Council President Rector Heidi.
Here.
Council Vice President Mike Wolski.
Here.
Councilmember Jim Seeker.
Here.
Councilmember Anna P. Here. Councilmember Ed Loud.
Thank you, man, appreciate it. Consent agenda, there are several items on there, the claims register. Councilman's previous meeting in July 15th. Journal register, budget versus actual, fund report, and also parks board minutes. And anybody have any questions over those documents? Claims register was like 6 pages, I think, I read through it, but I seen it was alarming.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I'll second it. I have a motion and a second, any additional comments or conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 4-0, ayes have it. Citizen comments? Okay. Staff reports, Chief.
Trails have been busy, which the weather has gotten a lot of people out of their house and working on the trails and riding bikes and exercising. It's been nice to see our guys have been out there meeting and talking to a lot of people. It's been a good thing for all of us. Other than that, I don't have anything really that I can speak on publicly.
Mr. Lips.
One of our 3 interns, Maddie, leaves. Last day was Friday. While she was here, she set us up pretty well for a Citizens Academy to go through all the departments. So we hope sometime this fall or winter to be able to start that. It's probably going to be a 6 to 8 week course where when they graduate, they would come to the council meeting and you guys would recognize them for going through all that education. But she also did succession planning with every department. She embedded with each department, learned what they do a little bit, what their current structure is, what future structure is, and kind of executive level down to like base level of what would be needed to replace people. So very thankful for the time she put in here, that she is heading back to IU. We met with Epic Insurance to do initial kind of onboarding and auditing of everything we have and don't have. They've been pretty thorough so far. They have some areas of concerns they've identified that we'll bring in a future meeting, probably more so than even we thought. But we'll have that for you. And then
Has that separation occurred already from the previous area?
yes.
How do they know?
Okay. Got a good thing.
I won't press further.
But the one other thing I would touch on is all the legislative discussions are still going on, moving. None of the branches of the state government are on the same page about any financial things or really housing things right now. So administrations, Senate, and House are all in kind of different camps. And if you guys want to know more on what seems to be actually moving today and what's not later, we could talk about that. So.
Thank you, appreciate it. I see no old business, is that correct? We've got 3 public hearings coming up on 71, 79 Highway 40, 71, 81, and 71, 83 Highway 40. Is everybody ready to proceed? Okay. I'll go ahead and call the first hearing to order. Public hearing for 71, 79 West US Highway 40 for an unsafe building order. Jewel?
So what we have here is an unsafe building order that was issued by your building inspector. Like I said, it's regarding the Diamond Trucking Incorporated. This one So at this time, you know, how Andrew, or Aaron Jordan, right? So state your name for the record.
Aaron, if you will stand up to the podium, please, that's right.
Aaron Jordan,
And can you please state what your occupation is
building commissioner,
for,
town Cumberland.
thank you. How long have you been building commissioner for the town of Cumberland?
Oh, probably about 8 months.
As part of your duties for the town of Cumberland, do you inspect unsafe buildings?
I do.
Did you have an opportunity to inspect during the trucking corporate?
I did.
And are there 3 separate parcels there?
There is.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the 7179 West US 40 in Indianapolis. Are you familiar with that property?
I am.
And did you have instance to go out and inspect that property?
Have what?
How did you have a reason to go out and inspect that property?
We went to 7181, myself and the fire marshal, and we went to 7183 as a result of a repair garage and being operated out of a type 2 structure that sits in the back there behind 7183, the Shambles building. And at the time of doing inspections, and I went out a couple times with, for code enforcement to take some pictures. So I've been out there multiple times on all 3 parcels. And 7179 is a greenhouse that is missing the roof membrane and is kind of getting into a dilapidated and blackened looking condition.
And once you noticed the condition of the greenhouse, what steps did you take?
We sent an order out for an unsafe building hearing for the greenhouse to what we're here tonight for the greenhouse to either be repaired or to be removed.
Were you able to take any photographs of the building and that property?
There is, yeah.
Okay, and then do you have those photographs today?
Okay, we should have them, and you got them, we're going to pull them up.
Do you want the PowerPoint?
Yeah, 7179. It's his picture to the left.
So on the screen at this time is a photograph. Can you describe what that photograph is?
That's a picture of the greenhouse, and as you can see, the plastic, the roof membrane is missing.
And do you know who took that photograph?
I did.
And is it a true and accurate reflection of the greenhouse on the date that you inspected?
It is.
And from your view of it, did you take any other photographs of that property?
I did. There's more pictures to be seen.
And can you describe this photograph for the hearing board?
It's a picture of the same greenhouse with the same missing roof membrane.
Okay, and who took that photograph?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the greenhouse on the date that you observed?
It does.
Any other photographs?
Yep.
Please describe this picture for the council.
It's another picture of the greenhouse and reflecting that the roof membrane is missing on the greenhouse.
And who took this photograph?
I did.
And does it reflect the state of the greenhouse on the date you inspected?
Yes.
And if I summarize those first 3 pictures, it would say that the entire membrane of the entire unit of roof is missing, not just a section.
That's correct.
Do you have any other photographs of the property?
There might be one more. Here's one at the end of it. Doesn't necessarily show the roof membrane missing.
And so your concern on this property, 7179, is specifically the membrane of that greenhouse.
The membrane, and yes, and the condition and the appearance of the building.
And can you explain for the council your concerns regarding the condition of that greenhouse and why it rises to the level of unsafe property?
Well, by Indiana code, an unsafe property can be any property or any structure that has a violation of ordinance or building that's not been maintained. And with the pictures, you can see that the roof membrane is definitely not been maintained. And that would only leave, two options is for the owner to repair the building and, make the building more presentable and, bring it out of a blighted condition or remove the building.
And so from your inspection of the property, would you say that it is, the structural condition is impaired to make it unsafe?
I would not know.
Would you say that it is in violation of the ordinances of the town that, require maintenance?
I would say it's a nuisance.
And so, the fourth problem essentially of the statute, the public nuisance based upon the condition is saying, and is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said it's in violation of the ordinances of the town, the condition is in.
Correct.
And do you have a recommendation for the council as to how to proceed on this?
I'd recommend giving the owner maybe 30 days to make a decision of whether or not he wants to repair the building or remove it. And then I would recommend, say by 90 days, require the building to either be repaired or removed. Or at the 90-day period, I would recommend for the hearing commission to possibly oppose or, add a $2,500 fine if the building is not repaired or removed at 90 days.
And so if I summarize that, your initial request is that the owner repair or rehabilitate the building so that it is in good shape. And then if they choose not to repair or rehabilitate, that it be removed.
Correct, and I would also add too, I think it would be a good idea on all three properties for the commission to add a continuous abatement order on all three properties.
Is there anything else that you wish to tell the council on this property, 7179?
No.
Let me go to those.
Mr. Lee, you want to call?
At this time, I would, the property owner, if it doesn't have the opportunity to address the
Do you know what the zoning is on 7179?
E2, I believe, it's our new global commercial district.
Respondent.
Good evening, Pat Rooney, I'm Matt with Darmite Trucking, and we're just talking about the greenhouse, 71.
We're gonna have to break up the three deals, that's correct, yes, sir.
And so, the respondent, agrees that they will, remove the greenhouse within 90 days. So they have no objection to that.
Okay, I think I can work with that.
Thank you.
You bet. Does the council have any other questions they'd like to ask? Since we basically have an agreed upon entry, for the 90 days, I have no problem. We'll do the 90 days from today, having the greenhouse removed. I'm sure they'll go out and do a re-inspect on that. And I'm fine with that. Do we need to impose anything?
I would close the hearing.
Oh, they do that? All right. Close the hearing at 7179. I thought we did that on the record, so.
And then, so you've actually got it advertised on the agenda for action items for the council.
Okay, so let's do that.
When we come to that.
Okay. We'll open the second hearing, 7181 West US Highway. Mr. Lee.
Aaron?
Yeah, I was just waiting to get the right pictures.
Okay. And for the purposes of this hearing, I'll ask the council and representative for the landowner, do you have any objection just incorporating the background questions that were asked originally, leading directly to the property instead of establishing?
No objection.
So, Mr. Jordan, you had testified earlier regarding looking at different properties, including 7181, is that correct? And so in your instance, inspect 7181 West US Highway 41, what is it that you found upon that inspection?
The first inspection that I went to 7181, I was there just accompanied Will Bridges, which he's here to speak on. I'm also a fire marshal for the Sugar Creek Township. And I was there just with him doing the inspections, and I walked through the building with him. And all the inspection items is on his report. I was there just to accompany him and look over the electrical and some of the plumbing issues.
And during your time there, did you take any photographs?
I did not know.
And did the fire marshal take any
He did,
photographs?
yes.
Based upon your discussions with the fire marshal and your inspection of the property, did you issue a unsafe building order?
Not at that moment, no.
Okay.
The fire marshal had sent some orders out, and probably, what was it, maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago? And the orders, his orders never got complied with. And then we and him discussed it, and since his orders never got complied with, and the building has been operated without a working restroom, and it's got multiple electrical issues, and because of the condition of the building and some of the fire hazards within the building, then I decided that probably the best option would be to have an unsafe building hearing, and then, you know, same on, they would not really for demo, but they would have the option to repair the building and get the working restrooms in order, or not demo, but cease operations and quit using the building, because the building is in pretty good shape, other than the electrical and the plumbing issues.
Okay. Did you identify issues did you issue an unsafe building order to Don?
Say that again?
Did you issue an order regarding an unsafe building to Don Truckee?
Yes, but not for the first couple months.
And then the order itself, I think you summarized it here, but you inspected that building upon the inspection of the fire marshal and your visits out there. You felt that it met the statutory requirements for an unsafe building.
I did, yes.
And which requirements do you feel that it met?
Electrical issues, electric-wise, there was a lot of electrical issues. I mean, there was one outlet that tested, or that said that the ground was hot on the ground side. Inside the panel box, it was open, and upstairs, the owners in the process of doing a remodel upstairs, they cut a truss in two. And this was a pole barn, and the trusses are probably 2x8 factory-built trusses, probably 8 foot on the center. And they cut a truss in two on the ceiling joist to make more headroom for a mezzanine. And not only did they cut the truss, they did a lot of electrical work that was what I would be considered, it could be a fire hazard. And then the occupants are using the building, it's an S1 building, it's by building, by occupancy. And an S1 building is required to have a working restroom, and the building does not have a working restroom. So based on not having a restroom, and based on electrical issues, based on the truss that's being cut into, then I would say for sure that this building qualifies to be an unsafe building.
Nothing further for this witness.
One quick question, do we know how that parcel is zoned?
They're all the same.
Okay, is it being used appropriately for the zoning?
No, there's, separate enforcement cases, for, oh wait, which one? This is the, so 7183, yeah, and this one, there's separate, enforcement cases.
Respondent?
Well, actually, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
So we call fire marshal.
Sorry for that.
Hello, Council.
Sir, thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Bill Friedrichs with Sugar Creek Township Fire Department.
Okay. What capacity do you work for Sugar Creek Township
I
Fire?
am the fire marshal for Sugar Creek Township Fire.
Okay, and are you familiar with the property located at 7181 West US Highway?
I am.
And how did you become aware of that?
I did a initial fire inspection on February 17th of this property. I had compiled an inspection report that was emailed to the occupant and to the owner, attaching code violations that were observed and included pictures.
And within those code violations, is it safe to say that there were electrical hazards when the work that was located?
Yes, sir.
And what did you see in that?
The electrical panel did not have a cover on it. There was several wires throughout the building that had no protection on them. There was no outlet covers. When I went back for a re-inspection, some of those outlets were protected. There was an exterior 240 volt outlet that the wires were not protected. When we went back for the re-inspection, they were protected. However, the outlet box still has a hole in the top of it to allow water to run through.
Were there structural alterations that were concerning?
There was on the second floor remodel or addition, there was a roof truss that had been cut to make room with no engineering report showing that did not affect the structural integrity of the roof.
And then, in your inspections, were you able to locate sanitary facilities that were out
No.
there? Is that something that you looked for?
No.
Did you take some pictures while you were out there?
I did.
Okay. And then can we go to that first picture?
So on this picture, I made a general note. It's just a general note for a construction design release for the plumbing, just to make them aware of that.
Okay. And did you take that picture?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate reflection of the building at the time that you used it?
Yes. This is the picture of the cut truss, or one end of the cut truss.
And this is what you testified to earlier regarding not seeing any engineering studies or anything to say that the structure would be okay.
Correct.
And who took this picture?
I took this picture.
And does it accurately reflect the condition of the building at the time?
Yes. So this picture was a vehicle that was being painted inside. For fire code for painting, it is supposed to be in a paint booth. When I went back for my re-inspection, this was rectified.
Okay. And who took that picture?
I took that picture.
And does it accurately reflect the condition of the building at the time?
Yes.
What is this?
Okay, this is the picture of the open panel box with all the wiring exposed. There should be a cover, at least a cover on that.
And did you take this picture as well?
I did too.
And does it accurately reflect the condition of the building at the time inspected?
Yes.
Was this rectified when you're?
This was not.
Is there anything else that you would like for the council to consider?
Just, it would be for a re-inspection for all the electrical issues to be abated.
And in your opinion as a fire marshal, upon the inspections, including the re-inspections, do you believe that this building still is a fire hazard under your definition?
I do believe so. There were several outlets that had open grounds or a hot neutral reverse or a hot ground reverse. Therefore, it would be unsafe.
I do have a quick question for you. The way you phrased it, how many times have you been out to 7181 Crestwood?
So my initial inspection was on February 17th. Re-inspection was conducted on 3/25, and a second re-inspection was conducted on 5/5.
So 3 times total. And you said the paint booth issue was corrected.
Yes.
Were any of the other issues corrected along the way?
Yes. One of the things on my initial report was fire extinguishers were not there. They were in place. The lifts that were in the building, the wire connections were not protected in a junction box or direct wire to the lifts. That was corrected. Most of the outlets had outlet covers put on them and the junction boxes.
So some were covered, that now are.
Yes.
Okay.
The initial was 14 violations, and then on the re-inspections, I still had 8 outstanding violations.
So it sounds like 5 weeks between roughly between the first and second inspection, and math is right, about almost 2 months, 6, 7 weeks on the third inspection. Anybody else have any questions for the fire marshal?
The truss that was cut, that can't be repaired, I imagine, that would be cut and replaced at the minimum.
If an engineer was able to review it and say that it was not, that it was safe, or that there was some type of repair or way to, support that, yes.
I have one question. The electrical box, does that have to be done or have a permit from a licensed electrician?
Or on the fire side, no, that may be a town of Cumberland.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee, anybody else? Please, sir. You can both come up if you like. The only thing we would ask you to state his name and address, stuff like that.
My name's David Sims, I'm electrical contractor that's gonna take over the job. Fix everything that's on the list. We're gonna pull a permit, we talked to Aaron, and we're gonna get a permit and then go through and fix everything.
We talked about electrical and also there's some plumbing issues I believe addressed and structural issues. Is that all going to be addressed then?
Yes, we would just request 90 days to address everything.
Sarah, that's a problem with that. Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
One question,
Sure, shoot.
I've been doing this 40 years, and to come down here sometime and pull permits here online is hard sometimes for us older people. I'm used to walking in, filling out the permit, paying for it right there. I think you guys should go back to that.
I'm computer challenged on a frequent basis, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, if I put an attachment on an email that goes through that kickback, I'm pretty happy with that,
Right.
so I understand.
Just let you know.
I appreciate it. Mr. Lee, do you have any questions on that one? Okay, I'll go ahead and close the hearing then for 7181 West US Highway 40. Third hearing is on 7183 US Highway 40. I'll open the hearing.
So Aaron, you had previously testified that you've been out to these properties, and the address that is listed is 7183 West US Highway 40. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Did you have an opportunity to inspect that?
I did, yes.
And in your inspections, did you run across anything that was of concern to you?
Inside, there was a load-bearing wall that had been removed, and some two boards that were kind of placed under in different places that was sagging. And inside, there's some pictures for it. There's several pictures on this building, which was what was the old Shambles building. And inside, right there, you can see the two double plates right there in between that post right there where they're sagging. That was a load-bearing wall that was removed. And we have a structural issue there. And Caitlin, if you will keep hitting them, there is. Okay.
Who took that picture?
I did.
Okay, does that accurately reflect the building at the time you inspected?
It did, yes. And here you can see, one of the things we had some complaints on was, we had a couple complaints of people that were squatting in the building. And I was out there a couple times and I never really seen anybody that was living in it, but there is some evidence that people were living in it with couches and positive couches and some items that look like somebody could have been squatting in the past.
And who took that picture?
I did.
And does that accurately reflect the building at the time that you inspected?
It does.
What is this picture?
There's another picture of the front room, another picture of where the load-bearing wall was removed, and you can see the two double plates there with the treated posts, and you can see the sags in between the posts, where the two double plates is not a large enough header to support the weight of the roof.
And who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the building at the date that you inspected?
It does.
What is this picture?
This is the picture of a back room. You can see a window there that's open. That window was open to the outside without any glass or anything there. But the electric, you see the panel box in the background there that it fell down. And electric, there was electric wires everywhere, but just electric was not turned on. It was not a fire hazard. I'm not saying it was a fire hazard. It really just reflecting the condition of the building itself.
And who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the building at the time that you inspected?
That does.
And what is this picture?
That's another picture of the front room looking to the south, and you can see some, not really too much wrong in that picture as far as violations. I just kind of took several pictures of the building.
And you took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the condition of the building at the
It
time?
does.
What is this picture?
It's another back room that was in the building, and you can't see it too much, but you can see it on the beam where it's had some roof leaks. You see where the paint's cracking, and the building had some roof leaks, and this picture was more reflecting some of the, what I would call improper electrical wiring from the past.
And who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the building at the time you inspected?
Yes. This is a picture of the back of the building, and this is the building has got it's been added on 2 or 3 different times. This is the far south building, which is a Walmart style building.
And what is that that's reflected on the outside?
That is, you can't see it, but directly to the right of that picture, if you could see it, there was a garage there. They were operating a repair shop out of a type 2 structure garage. And that was an order that we did back in, I think, January, maybe February, or early spring, where we had that garage cease operations in it because they were operating a repair shop, and that was some of the leftover car parts from that repair garage.
And so that's debris and trash from a separate type of situation that's not in a consideration state.
Correct.
And then who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the property at the time that you inspected?
It does.
And what is this?
Same picture of the same building. That's the rear part of the south side of the building, and this was the picture I took when we were getting the garage, the cease operations. You see the extension cord that comes out of that room, out of that back of that building. They actually had a generator in that building, in the building that we're talking about, and an extension cord that was going to the small garage out back. And they actually had that extension cord, they had a male end plug on it, where they were energizing half of the panel box with an extension cord. And the panel box was wide open, and there were wires hanging everywhere. And that's the reason at that particular time that, we did an order for an emergency cease of operations.
And again, that was the separate thing that is not in consideration today, but
Correct.
they were running from a generator that was located in the building.
Correct.
There's a question today. And what is this picture?
That's just a picture of the backyard.
And does this reflect anything that is of concern that you point out to council?
No.
And what is this?
This is a picture of the building that's in question, and you can see some of the soffits and some of the overhangs are getting deteriorated.
Okay. And then who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the condition of the building at the time that you inspected?
It does.
That is the shambles, the old shambles building itself, the main building, correct?
Right.
The brown pole barn structure and then the block structure.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And what is this picture?
Here's a picture of the same building on the east side, and there again, it reflects the overhangs and, the condition of the building on the exterior.
And was there anything that's reflected in this picture that gave concern to you under an unsafe building?
Well, the building is a nuisance, with the maintenance of the building on the exterior maintenance, and the exterior condition of the building is a nuisance.
And then who took this picture?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the building's condition at the time that you inspected?
It does.
What is this picture?
This is a picture that does not reflect this building, but this is a picture that was a panel box of the building that we did the cease of This is a picture of the west side of the building, and it's another picture. If you can see the pole barn, the metal on the pole barn is getting extremely rusty, but if you look to the left, you got a flat roof, and then you got an asphalt shingle to the left. And then roofs are they've been actually, the shingles have been mocked with some type of coating because of the leaks over the years. And what this picture reflects is the exterior maintenance. You can see there on the pole barn, the fascia board's getting rotten. And you can see the overhangs on the left right there between the two buildings is getting rotten. And the deterioration of the roof membranes.
And who took this picture?
I did.
And does it actually reflect the condition of the building at the time?
Same side, just a different angle.
And again, did you take this picture?
I did.
And does it reflect the condition of the building?
It does.
And so, through that inspection that you walked through with the photographs, were you able to reach a conclusion as to whether or not you believe this to be unsafe?
I did, yeah. Between the structural issues with the wall that's been removed, and between that and with the exterior maintenance on the outside, the condition of the roads, the overhangs, the siding, missing windows, and the complaints we've had about squatters being in it, and just the overall condition of the exterior of it and maintenance, that I assumed that I decided that it wasn't an unsafe building.
Okay, so did you determine that the structure was in an impaired condition that made it unsafe?
Yes, in the area of the, where the wall has been removed, that is a structural issue.
And then, did you determine that it was a public nuisance?
Yes.
And was that from all the debris and condition of the exterior of the roof?
Not really the debris, but just the exterior maintenance of the building.
Did you determine that it was dangerous due to violations of statutes or ordinance regarding the building condition?
Yes.
And then, did you find that it was vacant or blighted and not maintained in a manner prohibited for lawful occupation?
Yes.
And then, once you made that determination, did you issue an order?
I did.
And then, what did you recommend, or do you have a recommendation for this council to consider for rectifying this condition?
I would recommend kind of the same thing with the, that we talked about with the greenhouse, that we give them 30 days to decide what they want to do. And with the repairs that's going to be on this building, my guess is that they're going to have to get a CDR from the state, they're going to get an engineer, because the owner, he mentioned putting a mini mart in there, and for everything that would have to be done with it, it would have to have a CDR. So that's going to take them probably a couple months to get all that in place. So my recommendation would be to give them 30 days to decide, are we going to repair it or are we going to remove it? And then I would recommend giving them another 60 days to get their CDR and get some plans and get ready to apply for a building permit. And then by month 4, we should see a building permit in place and some work happening on the building. And I would also recommend, say by month 5, if that's not happening, to issue a $2,500 fine. And also, as the other property at 7179, to also put in place a continuous abatement order on it.
I see one other violation that's a possibility. We have a no burn order in the town of Cumberland, and it appears that he's been burning debris. So I just wanted to bring that up because that is against our ordinance, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, you probably didn't see it burning, but,
Keep an eye on it in the future.
and so they know.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of it looked like it could be toxic too.
It could be if it's plastic. Right.
Is there anything else that you would like this council to consider?
No, that's it.
I believe Mr. Sims has pulled a permit on this structure.
We pulled a permit on it, and we met with Aaron, and he asked us to do some cleanup. We cleaned up a bunch of stuff, and then Mr. Singh was gone for 6 months, so we couldn't really do anything. And then we met last week or 2 weeks ago, and we couldn't get in decided it wanted to do is get power so people can, work in there, get some lights in there.
And other than that, we agreed on the timeline and, would agree to that proposed timeline.
You guys will be okay on this, you got 3 parcels there that you're gonna have to do, you're roughly at the same time, like, a little more time on this one, but you guys will be okay on that timeline?
I mean, we would welcome additional time, but we would try to meet that timeline.
Okay. I mean, to me, it's always progress, right? If they're working towards it, it's always progress for me. I mean, it's not waiting the 119th day to say we're gonna start.
They're gonna have to hire a building contractor to do the outside, redo the roof,
Oh, yeah.
and then fix everything inside, then we'll come in and, after we get some temporary power, we'll come in and do what, what's the architect or whatever says to do.
Okay. So let me make sure I've got it laid out. 30 days to decide what you want to do on that. And then what was your next step right there?
At month 3, that would give them time to get their CDR and have the engineer draw up a set of plans. So in 3 months, and then by 4 months, they should have a building permit in place and be working on the building.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a jump start on that. That's a good thing.
Well, the permit that's in place is not a building permit. He had a electrical reconnect permit, is the only permit that's in place. He had an electrical reconnect permit just to do an inspection on the electric service to look at getting the electric turned on.
Was that through Duke Energy
Yes,
or electric company? Yeah.
they came out,
Well, the permit was with the town of Cumberland.
Okay.
And I did an inspection and made him walk the building, and the electric was in such bad shape other than the service. It was determined that he would vacate everything in the whole building and get the panel down to just a bare panel, because it looked like the service, because the feeder coming into the panel was in good shape. So he was gonna pretty much just abate everything in the whole building except the feeders coming in, and then he was gonna run a new outlet right there close to the panel, so they would have couple outlets just for warranty purposes.
So we're looking at 4 months for the, let's just call it administrative things to get done, permits, decide what you're gonna do, engineering, all that. How long a time are you wanting to put on this for them to complete the work on this one? And this is obviously the most time consuming, money consuming, everything.
I haven't really thought about a completion date, and like you said earlier, I mean, once everything, the permits is in place, as long as there's progress being made every day, I'd be happy, with that part of it. I mean, it might take him a year, to complete the whole project.
Most contractors are gonna be in a hurry to finish their part so they could be paid, so you gotta do it that way too, the contractor doesn't wanna.
Yeah, I'm sure that, right, I want to be fair to them,
Sure.
appropriate time.
I think we still need to put a deadline on it.
Absolutely, there's no question there, that's what I'm trying to iron out here, trying to be fair to everybody, absolutely.
90 days.
well, you guys have the action items after the public hearing too, to deliver.
Right, I get
that
that.
order, so.
Okay.
I would say,
Not that I go by it, but do you guys have a feel on what this is gonna take to do after you get all those things in place and can actually start working?
well, once they clean up the inside, the electrical will take on a week. And one thing I want to say, Mr. Jordan's been very fair with us too, so I just like to tell the commission that.
And I think 90 days after the permits
Is it fair?
sufficient.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just not trying to put someone in the pinch here. They won't after. Okay.
the one thing we have taken into consideration is they're not sure what they're gonna put in the building. So even once the outside of the building gets completed, they may just white box the building to where their inside's not completed.
Right, and then decide what business they want to put in.
Right, I mean, because they probably don't want to do all the electrical work and, all the interior petitions and everything like that until they actually decide what's going to go in there.
And get zoning for it.
Right, yeah, whatever they usually put in there would have to be for that zoning district. And, but as far as saying that the building, would have to be, 100% complete, that may not happen, in 5 or 6 months. But if we could get the outside of the building
Bring
brought
it
in,
in compliance.
if we could get the outside of the building where it's not a nuisance, and, get the roofs, new roofs on it, and get the outside of it looking good, and then they could white box it, and then they could look at a tenant and figure out what to do on the inside.
But would they not have to, in the white box process, they would need to fix the structural issues?
They would. All the structural issues and all the exterior issues would have to be fixed.
Any other questions, please, for these folks? Joe, you have anything? Okay, thank you. You have anything else you want to add? No, thank you so much, appreciate it. Anything else, Mr. Lee, you want to add? We'll close the hearing on 7180 US Highway. All right, under new business, it comes to consideration of 7179 US Highway 40. It looks like we have an agreement that the greenhouse comes down within 120 days. Is that correct? I think everybody's in agreement, good on that.
I think we said 90 days.
Was it 90 days on the greenhouse? Oh, I apologize. Are we good with 90?
Yeah.
I'll take a motion then on 7179 West US 40.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of 90 days for the greenhouse to come down, 7179 US 40, please signify by saying yes or aye. Aye. Take your turn. Opposed, no. Okay, 4-0, ayes have it, so that settles out. Consideration of 7181 West US Highway 40, the unsafe building order. I think the agreement was they could complete those repairs, other than 90 days. Okay.
It is 90 days, and I'm not sure we talked about it, but, I would recommend that if the repairs are not made in 90 days and the restrooms completed, that the building be cease operations and for the operations that cease.
Deal with that? Okay. Mr. Williams, any add? I will take a motion that, or a motion on 7181 West US Highway 40, for repairs, to be completed, within 90 days or operations cease, in that building.
Make it so.
I have a motion and a second on that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. 7183 West US Highway 40. Aaron, let me know, or Adam, I'm sorry if I messed up the time frame. So we're basically giving them the first 4 months in order to decide what they want to do, get permitting, and get all that squared away, all the administrative things. And then 90 days after that to complete the repairs to make it a safe building. Is that correct?
What I said was the 4 months, and then within 30 days after that to have a lot of progress made. I mean, we could say that at 5 months, if you want to say at 5 months, that they have to have all the exterior repairs made and have all the structural issues repaired if we wanted to.
We also think we're heading into winter.
I just don't think that they'll have the inside all completed in 5 months as far, and they may have a tenant in mind, and, but I got a feeling from what my conversations with the electrician and the owner, that their plans is to get the exterior, the structural issues done, and whitewash the building until they find a tenant for it.
That makes sense. I'm just thinking about the exterior stuff as far as timing goes.
Yeah, we could do 5 months for the, all the structural issues and getting the exterior built of the building where it's not a nuisance anymore.
And then on completion to make the inside of the building safe according to code, how long will that?
Once they get the outside done and they get where the wall had been removed, they get that repair made, and they get it to where it can be locked up. At that point, the inside is safe until they get a tenant and work on getting the next round of permits for the inside.
And how long were you thinking on that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna take him to get a tenant, and,
Well, I guess to make it, I'm not worried about tenant, to get it structurally safe and sound to where it will pass code enforcement inspection.
well, and there again, maybe, let me give you, like, a new house. I mean, if somebody's gonna build a new house, we usually don't give them a date to how, when it's gonna be completed. And once the building gets white boxed, and, all the structural issues have been taken care of, and the exterior of the building has been made to look good, not to be a nuisance anymore. At that point, I'm not sure if we wanna put a timeline on how long it takes them to get the interior done. If you guys, I mean, that would be up to you guys to, make a decision on that.
Go ahead.
Are you just asking what a reasonable time is to bring it into compliance?
Yeah, I already decided that, I'm gonna move on. Yeah, I tried that question 2 or 3 ways, so yeah, I'm just gonna move on. Regarding 7183 West US Highway 40, I will concur with the building administrator's recommendation to give a 4-month window to get all the administrative pieces ironed out, to bring it up to standards outside and inside. I'll stay consistent with the other 2. There'll be another 90 days past that 4 months to get that done. Okay? Do I hear, do I okay with that? Yep. Yeah. That way we're consistent. So, do I have a motion? Okay. Joe, would you second? Yep. I have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Meaning, too much time.
Motion carries 3-1. All right, I believe that's the end of that one. I think we're moving on to consideration of ordinance 2026 -08. I'm sorry, you cut it off.
We'll take that as a hilarious quote.
Please, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Small print at the bottom. Go ahead. I kind of beat her up yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it should be a little soft today.
Oh, no, it only picks up. Thank you, take care, thank you.
So we've had our golf cart, obviously, it's been here as long as I have, so 7 years, and we are at a point where we need to definitely upgrade. We are seeing e-bikes and different things on the trails, and being able to respond to things, we are just not there. And that, we are seeing that this golf cart is definitely declining, and we're lucky to have it still running. So what you have is 2 quotes of these Polaris vehicles. One of them, it says the 28,000, that does not come with the police package, that has the lights and everything on there. The other one does, and it is where it's enclosed, where it'll have the heat and air conditioning, so we can have it year round. So even in the later part of the year when it is colder, but people are still on the trail using it.
Sounds nice, should be taking on vehicles.
It's almost like a take-home vehicle,
I know.
unfortunately, but, we're utilizing the trail more, we're seeing a lot of people out there, and we actually had one incident where we had somebody working trail patrol, and he actually responded. Unfortunately, he was the first one on the property, but last one to actually cut up to the actual incident location, so.
I know I talked to you about this, I know I talked to a couple of other councilors about this. We are all in agreement, this is a necessary item. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. Funding is the issue. I'm probably on this one a little bit in alignment. If I speak out of turn, I'll have to apologize in advance, probably with Joe. My understanding is we're going to do this out of the general fund.
It would come from excess reserves of the general fund. My recommendation typically would have this in a capital spending project plan for the next year, but the golf cart's been in the shop twice in the past 30 days. We're getting a lot more calls on the trail, a lot more runs. I don't think it makes sense to put money into the golf cart versus an adoption, and you have the funding within the excess reserves to spend.
I get it, but we went there several times this year, you know, you keep going there, you don't have funds in the excess reserves. I'm not being argumentative, I'm just saying, this is my worry.
Your policy is to spend the excess reserves.
I have
And-
something to say.
You have a lot more than $20,000.
Yes, I understand. Go ahead.
So, it's not good for us to hold taxpayers' money and not do something with it, especially something that involves safety, medical emergency, even, police officers stopping and saying hi, keeping the trail safe, so, and even being able to stop without like a car running, you know what I mean, so they can hear it. I see what goes on the trail, you might not, Brett, but I see a lot of it and I hear it sometimes even at night, because my yard backs up to it. So, and I know we have, some vehicles that we're gonna be getting rid of, and more than likely, they will bring enough money to pay for this. So I think we need it, I think it's really important.
Those won't really cover this, just to be
Okay.
clear on that, that's kind of a different funded area.
Okay, but, even so, it's still, I understand it's a different fund, but it's still money.
Well, and it keeps our vehicles off of the trail itself, too,
Yeah.
because right now that's what we have to do.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen, yeah.
So, I'll respond.
And also, I'm talking about like people getting ran over, you know, like on, like I saw two young girls almost turn one over, going from my house on the trail from my neighborhood into the main trail. And, and there's kids on mini bikes that go really fast, they can go 50, 60 miles an hour. I know one neighbor told me about that just like 2 days ago. So it's a safety thing too.
To respond to that, I have no issue with what you're saying, and I understand we're spending the money. But I will add, it's our responsibility to be judicious and good stewards of the money for the folks in town of Cumberland. So we can't just spend to spend, we have to evaluate and look at it. Does anyone else have any comment?
I saw the pricing, it scared me because my Bronco was only 10 grand more than that. They are pretty elaborate, these things anymore.
They are.
It's a whole off-road world, so.
And for like a working RTD, like what the streets and parks guys have to use for like actual hauling equipment, loading, pulling, those are running about 35,000, 45,000.
I don't think anybody's got any qualms on it's not worth probably wasting more money on the golf cart, and it's not necessary piece of equipment. It's just the concern.
I completely understand.
Yeah,
It's from the context.
Exactly, right, no, I get it.
Will the golf cart be moved into a different part of the fleet, or will it be disposed of?
Sent to auction. So it'd be probably a future resolution to surplus and send to auction, so it's beyond useful life for the.
How much do we would spend on it the last 60 days, 90 days you were talking about?
I don't know, I know it had to have some battery replacements, alternator looked at, and just general service charges and some things like that, so it's not been major, it's been in for the motor in the past couple of years and stuff. It's probably only gonna fetch $1,000 at auction, frankly, so like it's not gonna be a large turnaround. They are, I think, around 16, 17 years old. We, for context, surplus and got rid of the streets and parks ones that we bought at the same time about 10 years ago. So.
Half that life for parades.
So, and then, like, even if this one, the one we have is fixed, is it slower than a new one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, it's incredibly slower.
Okay, and that makes a big difference too.
It's probably a top speed of 16 miles per hour, so maybe 22 if you're going downhill.
Do I have a motion on it?
I will move that we approve the purchase of the Polaris 4x4.
Which one was that?
Which is the
Purchase of it.
power sports. They're both called Polaris.
Yeah.
Well, this one's just for the machine and the other one's for machine and a police package.
Yeah.
So she's
That's the
requesting
one.
her.
That's the one.
Yeah, I would give a police package, I said, we're gonna use the water tower, folks out there freezing, you know.
Yeah, well, the police package, we ended up having to get the lights and everything installed, so we ended up spending probably more than that to get that, so.
Yeah, probably.
Got it. So I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 4-0, ayes have it.
Thank you.
You bet, thanks, Susan. Consideration of ordinance 2026-08, rezoning Lansing Woods South, PUD. It was a nice, colorful brochure put in our council packet, so I enjoyed it. That way I'm more looking at it, voting. Thank you.
From a PUD to a PUD.
Yeah.
But, they said, no, that's typo.
Nope. So this is a little unique, is what we'll go for. So ordinance 2608, as we said, is rezoning, Lansing Woods South, from a PUD, the Cumberland, it was originally, or not originally, last zoned to PUD as part of the Cumberland North project. So this is the Bengal Farm property. That portion of the project is not moving forward. We have a new builder who has it under contract, and so requesting a rezone. They don't have the same products that builder had, so it's a new PUD. This would be the Lansing Woods South. If you'll remember, Lansing Woods is the Young's farm that was approved for zoning earlier.
That's
This
north.
just north.
150.
So the Young's is is adjacent to 70, and then the Bengal is here on both sides of 150.
Yes, all that's.
With Buck Creek Road. And so Arbor Homes has Lansing Woods, they have a contract on this one, so really this looks at extending the same standards generally to the south, so you have a cohesive development. It'll
So there's
essentially
two
be-
pieces, but they'll
It'll
be.
essentially be one larger subdivision.
Yeah.
And so that's really the changes, so, but because it was a PUD, the rezone has to be to another new PUD, so that's why it's kind of weird. The certification, from the planning commission, comes to you, this evening along with this ordinance. The planning commission held its hearing on the amendment on, Wednesday, July 22nd. And this is coming to you with a favorable recommendation with conditions at a vote of 5-0. You have a copy of the findings of fact, the staff report, all the documents in there. I will say that I did receive today from the petitioner an updated ordinance that has addressed all of the conditions the planning commission put on it, so they have already made those changes. It's not what's in your packet, but just wanted to let you know that has happened. And Tony is here from Arbor, to do a little bit about the project, and I was answering your questions, and there.
Thank you.
Yes, good evening, Tony McGowan with Arbor Homes, our address is 9225 Harrison Park Court here in Indianapolis. As Christine laid out, this was zoned Cumberland North, it had strategic capital for apartments, institutional use for the school, and then Lennar's residential project. Lennar was not able to make this work from their financial side, is my understanding, so we were able to get under contract and wanted to create it as an extension of Lansing Woods, which she's described to the north. The biggest difference I'd say is that we don't have 15-foot wide homes, so we have a lot less density. Theirs was about 186 units, if I remember correctly, ours was 136. So on that south end, where they had the 15-foot wide homes, I think the lots were 30-foot wide. Those are all now larger lots that are gonna be our traditional Arbor Homes that are 50-foot wide lots, 55-foot wide lots there. And then closer as you get to Lansing Woods, we have still the new Arrival product that was approved previously in that project. So with the changes we made that are in the PUD today that were emailed, we committed to no vinyl in Area B, which is consistent with Lansing Woods North. We looked at adding more rear enhancements to 13 additional commission president made a comment about the homes at the very south, even though they're larger now. Those homes are gonna see the back homes, if you wanted enhancements we put on some perimeter homes, so they would have either a sunroom, a patio, or a brick wainscot outside, so that's an enhanced look for those residents, and we agreed to that, and it's in the new PUD. We changed the open space standard from 20% up to 25. I think although our code, we're actually closer to 30% with the plan. We are going to continue to dedicate the park that was required in the previous Coleman North plan, so we will have that park dedication there where there's an existing pond today. We will have street trees that we said, we made a change in the language that they would be maintained by the HOA, even the ones on County Road 150 and 200, so those will be covered within the HOA. There was park fee language that was referencing the old PUD name, and we changed that to make sure it has this PUD name. And so with that, we had unanimous support by the plan commission. We feel that this would be a good project overall and still complement what we're doing to the north. And again, provides overall less density, but will still be something that we think that could be a good project. We did maintain a portion of the site for institutionals, so the school can still have their uses as part of that property that was touching the Bangor site. So that's really the biggest change, is that it's just less density and a little bit different layout, but overall, pretty much the same residential wise.
Council members have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a comments, I think, but, it gives me hesitation and pause when plats start getting turned over in names, you know, we had that a lot in the woods, one company came in, started it, built about 20, 30 homes, and then it dried up and they sold it, somebody else came in and they got hold of their standards. So I think what I've seen in the density change, I think is gonna be good for that area. I think it'll be a lot more accepted anyway, so. Just wanna make sure we don't get in that revolving door of who owns it now, and who's doing what with it now.
Yeah, I mean, we're evaluating all those costs to make sure what we can see right now is feasible, even less density for us.
Christine, do you have anything you want to add from what Tony said?
No, and I think, and Joe, just to follow up, the builders sometimes do change, but the standards stay the same. So as long as, I think we're really focused on the standards here, and then if a new builder were to come in and they can't meet those standards, they have to come back and go through the process, just like we're here tonight, to rezone, or amend the PUD. So there are processes in place. Builders change, but the standards, should stay.
Well, I mean,
Minimum standards
but
should
they've
stay
come
the
back before on Autumn Woods and made some changes, but they had to go through the process again.
Yes.
But the net result is still change in the look, so.
On Exhibit C, the pedestrian activity map, is there any reason why the red trail does not go through the south of that south neighborhood?
South of 150.
Yes.
So, Tony, you can follow up on that. It's narrower down there, so there wasn't, room for them to run trail there, but it does have sidewalk all throughout, and then the crosswalk on 150 to connect them in to that system, that's my understanding.
Yeah, since we're doing larger lots than what Lennar had there, between that and then where the regulated drain has to be located on that south property line, to try to maintain at least some of the buffer, we didn't have room to continue the path down there, so we put as much as we can on the north side where we had openings, and then just we have the sidewalk there connect to it as we cross 150 to the north. From the south side, the sidewalk will connect to it at crosswalk.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think it's,
Good project.
yeah.
Well, I know you still have planning commission, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, anything else? Mike?
No, I'm good.
I'll entertain a motion on, consideration orders 2026-08, rezoning of Lansing Woods South. So,
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0, ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the next deal is Ms. Owens' acceptance of the Wallace commercial annexation petition.
Yes, so this is a, property owner has petitioned or is requesting, annexation of their properties. This would be considered a super voluntary, 100% property owner led, annexation. This is where, it's not the brick house anymore, Willie's, and then the industrial behind it. So we had previously with, next to Wawa, when one of the industrial buildings was being added on to, they had to annex because they were connected into sewer. They want to make some super, minor, they're selling off some parcels and the county has basically told them they need to annex into Cumberland. And so they are requesting that annexation. We are not requiring it, they are requesting it. And so this is just here this evening, if you accept this petition, this starts the process off, and you'll see this come back to you with a fiscal plan, resolution, introduction, hearing coming, in weeks.
Is it something they're already doing, or is it something new they're gonna be doing? Because I know it's industrial.
Nothing's changing, they need to move some lines.
Okay.
Because because one lot is in town and the rest are not, the county finds that confusing.
They're just aligning parcels.
Yeah, they're literally moving a parcel line.
Okay.
It's very minor, no new infrastructure, nothing changing.
Got it.
Is there any questions for Christine on this one? I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the, commercial annexation of the Wallace property, or the petition.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 4-0. Thank you, Ms. Owens. Nice job this evening. Oh, consideration of the Ermco Clark estimate. Ben Stuckey with this, he didn't want to come up, he didn't get to do it.
So she did the work on it.
Yes, long time coming, we've been working with Ermco, to get a quote to fix, well, we're gonna upgrade the clock, we're not gonna fix it. We're gonna get a new clock, and it's gonna be an automatic controller, so we don't have to change it. Get the savings, all that stuff. And.
How much is that number again?
It's 23,117.
I kind of like you're back. You said, I'm kind of going, we find back with Jay Fox, I don't know.
It is because it's literally replacing the large clock in the clock tower.
Yeah.
And using lighting and wall
Bring it for 30 years, 3 years of.
If we were just a clock on the wall, I'd be really blown away.
Right, yes, change the batteries.
They got those at Ranger, so.
That's true.
I don't know.
It's just ridiculous how much everything costs in that part.
Yeah, it's outrageous. Any questions for Ms. Olson?
Clocks with clock towers are also kind of niche, something that we found out trying to figure it out.
Oh, I think they're talking about people that do it.
It's not for the chime anymore, is it?
Well, it never did, so probably not.
I think our own clock will take one day.
I'm gonna, I want to play time by being Floyd.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe I've done that.
I'll work on that.
I appreciate it. I can hear it from my house.
All right, is there any other questions on the motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the replacement of the town clock with Ermco for $23,117.
Have a second?
I get it.
Okay, Joe second, no problem. motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, ding dong works well. All right. I did have a request for Mr. Lips, on one more piece of, business he wanted to deal with tonight, and that was a resolution of, getting rid of some surplus cars in the police department. I'll need a motion to set aside the rules.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion and a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Who's presenting this one? You're not a strong arm, Kate. No, she's got her part for the night. She's carrying the water.
Resolution 2026-05, like stated, is a resolution surplusing property. This is for the attached police Tahoes and my former Honda Pilot. So that is, what was that, 6 there?
Oh, the body work product on that.
7.
Oh, the body work product on that.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
Oh, man, go ahead.
These would go to auction with 3 other vehicles. So, and Enterprise would pick those up, take them to auction, and those would be applied to our account.
Gotcha. And I assume for our purposes that that's what you're supposed to. Okay,
Yeah, these vehicles have already been replaced.
gotcha. Is there any questions, Mr. Lips? I'll take a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution 2026 annual.
Have a second? All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 4-0, Mr. Lips.
Thank you.
Okay, counselor comments. That's what it's about. You're fine, man.
I'm teasing, really.
I know. It's all good fun. Okay, I'll see any counselor comments, but thank you, sir. Future agenda items, Mr. Lewis.
You guys have several policies on there. I have another policy draft that's not listed there, but I want to get your guys' kind of quick consensus if you want to hear it or not. We talked about electronic vehicles on the trail. I found some that are a little bit of a hybrid that still allow your typical e-bike, that's your consumer residential, what you want friendly users versus like electronic mopeds and those type of things.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to hear that, I will add that policy to the list of attached features items.
Yeah, there's some little mini bikes that all these teenagers are riding now.
So
That's what I was talking about before when I said that, like, I didn't mean like regular electric bikes.
there's some really good hybrid models out there.
Yeah.
They, some of the bikes don't even have pedals on it. I know, Fisher's, when they adopted theirs, one of the bike shops immediately started selling pedals that just
Attached to it, so it looks like. Well, we're gonna have Supermobile catch all this stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'll also have that ordinance draft for you guys.
Some of those I think run like 40 mile an hour or something.
75.
75, oh my God.
They're basically electric motorcycles, so.
Yeah, we definitely can't have those on the trail.
Sounds good. We'll anxiously await.
On the city streets, town streets, even.
All right, any other comments, anything else from good of the order on the meeting tonight? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. So.